Now, usually what I do is I actually start with something like this. It's a rough sketch. It's just using any old pencil that you can find. And I just kind of go in and I start to kind of rough out what it is that I want to kind of do. And it's very quick. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. I just think of the details I want to add. I'd love to have a tie here lying to the side. And so I will just do things very lightly and give myself a bit of an idea of what it is that I want the final product to look like. So I'm really fleshing things out very, very quickly. Now, my idea originally was to make this topic, which is all about the swoop and poop phenomenon. I wanted to make it playful, so I decided that I would use an emoji for the poop. I thought that would be a playful way of doing it rather than a disgusting way of doing it. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to want this big emoji poo over here, and I will probably come in and add all kinds of texture. And so I want these eyes to be big. I'm going to probably shade them in like so. I want that typical emoji kind of smile that we can see on most of our mobile devices. And so then I drew, of course, a guy running from the swooping and pooping phenomenon. Now you can notice that there are shavings falling from this kind of a pencil. The only reason why it's probably not the best choice. And so usually I draw things very, very roughly. I say to myself, okay, this guy's gonna have a shirt on, and I'll probably have some buttons going down, and I want his pants to come here. And so it gives me a rough idea of what I want. And then what I'll do is I will come in, usually, I call them inklings because I'm quite literally using a calligraphy pen that distributes ink. Apparently not when I'm on camera. Here we go. There we go. And I love this because, of course, you can have different line types. You know, you can make it thick. You can sometimes even like kind of squirt some of this ink out. And so they're inklings for a reason, because I am quite literally going into my drawings and I'm going to use the ink as my main medium. And obviously, I'm running out of ink, but I think you get the gist of it. Now, the other thing that I really, really, really like, and maybe some people might think this is cheating, I like to add a splash of color to things. So I really love these watercolor markers. They almost look like paintbrushes if you look at the end.
And I just love that they kind of go down like pink, but then you can kind of come in with one of these brushes that has actually water inside, and you can start to, give it that kind of watermelon feel. Now, it's not looking as great here, but if I were to do this on actual, I'm not really my drawings, if I were to do this on actual
watercolor paper, you can see it applies differently. And I love that you could just do kind of this and get these wonderful different kind of textures. And, you know, you could decide to what degree you want that watercolor effect. And what I love about it is now that this paintbrush is picked up on a lot of that water, you can actually have lighter tones around. And then when it dries, it's an interesting effect as well. So I like to kind of add these kind of zones, these watercolor zones to the drawings, the inklings, just to give them that pop of color in an artsy way. Now, let me just get this out of the way and show you a little bit of what the end result could look like. So here we go. Here is the refined version of what I drew, and I find it rather pops. You've got, you know, the ink laid out nice and dark. I love the contrast of just using black on white, but then you've got some colors coming out here to really give it a little bit of an artsy pop. Now, what you may notice is that the final version that I'm going to display of this, it's actually not an eagle. Initially, what I wanted was an eagle because there's actually an emoji of an eagle, but I realized that so many of my clients actually have eagles as part of their company logos that I didn't want to offend anyone or make them think that I'm actually creating this inkling based on them and them alone. So actually what I did is I actually turned this eagle in the final version into a hawk or falcon of some sort, just to not ruffle any feathers. See what I did there? Anyhow, this is just a quick glimpse of how I create these, and I would love to know if you have some inkling ideas that you would like to share with me and see come to life. Of course, I focus in on executive coaching and leadership development, but why don't you DM me and send me your thoughts?